So now let's get into more of the fun stuff where I get to shut up. So let's address and talk about blogging. I mean, that's the topic of today. As far as everyone hears content is king. Everyone knows blogging is important, or told religiously blogging is important. But who has time to do it? How do they do it? What's doing? So let's hear a little bit about what people are doing. First of all, what people's thoughts are in blogging and what people are doing in blogging. And again, this is an open forum. Just anyone jump in and say what they want to say.
So I'll start. So Digital Maestro, Paul Taubman, where my company is called Digital Maestro. One thing that we do is we are actually sponsoring once a quarter. We've been doing this for many years now. Something called the Ultimate Blog Challenge. We're actually in the middle of it. The challenge is to get people to blog, to write articles for their website once a day, every day during the month. So for many people, that obviously that's a challenge, right? That's a lot of writing. That's something that they're not necessarily doing. And the reason why we put the challenge up is that there's a lot of people who just need to get in the spirit of writing and set that as a regular practice for them. So we help with that. The other thing is we have a private Facebook group that people post their blog posts for the day. And then everybody who's participating has the opportunity to go visit that. This way it enables each website owner, each business, to get more traffic. More traffic means more Google love, right? Better rankings in the search engines. And, it helps position people as the expert, right? The more content you put out, as long as it's quality content and not just filler content, then you're exposing yourself to everybody in a good way, that you know what you're talking about. You're the expert. And when it comes time for them to make a buying decision or a contracting decision, that they'll come to you.
Excellent.
I have something to add. My name is Desirae Hellick, and I own a marketing agency called Curating. And just for just to give some ideas on what to blog about, I would say think about what your customers' biggest pain points are, and then come up with a question to ask that sort of revolves around those. So for example, a lot of my clients want to generate more leads. So how do you generate more leads with X, Y, or Z, or, using technology, or, so just find sort of the pain points that your clients are going through and then create questions based on those. And then also, if you've been blogging for a while, you can always recycle your old content and just update it with a keyword search. You can use the Google tools. You can use Uber Suggest. There's lots of different ways of updating your keyword research, but definitely do some research on keywords first, and then include those in your blogs for when you're writing. And blogs don't have to be long. They don't have to be 600 to 1,000 words. They can be 300 words, and you can get the point across. And a lot of people really like lists. Best practices in, or 5 ways to do this or that. So, it can be more bullet points because it's easier for people to read. People don't want to invest the time in it, right? They want to get the information out of your blog without sitting there for half an hour. So keep that in mind too. And then of course, videos. You can vlog with a V. Post videos on your site. Just use your iPhone, video yourself talking about one of your products or your services, or information about them, not necessarily selling yourself, but giving beneficial information to your audience. And it can be a really simple time, effective way of vlogging. So that's my 2 cents.
Excellent. And I counted on you guys to chime in with some stuff, so that was very helpful. It's nice to have experts in the space. That's why the team is diverse. Now, beyond our marketing experts on it, what are other people doing? Is it overwhelming? Is there anyone who feels they shouldn't be doing it? What are some other thoughts out there?
I know it's something I should be doing, and I don't know about you guys, but I've started doing some, I was real active with posting on LinkedIn, and then lost a little steam. Then there's like some hesitancy to come back for some reason. I don't know if that's just me. You know, you feel like, okay, what am I going to talk about now? And it's like, so I think I might need some help because it's like I'm trying to do too many things and to try to dedicate time to put together a blog. You know, I don't know. It's like it's just kind of hard sometimes getting out of your day to day what you need to do, and then to put time to focus on writing a blog that, you know, I don't know, and whether you blog on a site or do you like to, where do you do blogs on, like LinkedIn, like sort of just keep doing posts? Does that count?
That was going to be my next question. So what is everyone's thoughts on that? I mean, obviously you want to have it on your website, own your traffic and everything else, but also to make sure it gets seen. What are people doing as far as multiple cross posting and on that? What are some of the thoughts? I have mine, but what do others people say? Paul?
So first thing, Jonas, when you think about what to write about, Desirae gave some great ideas, but also think about this. Anytime a client or a customer, or you're talking to somebody on the phone, if they come up with a question that you know, kind of give an explanation of, there's probably somebody out there who has the same question and they're probably searching for it. So that's a good topic that you can blog about right there. Just kind of jot it down and then, you know, write about it, put it on your website, right? Which brings to your next question. I would recommend putting it on your website. So this way, as Dennis said, you're owning it, you get the traffic, right? And it's, in terms of Google, it's all about getting traffic, right? So the more people that can find it, the better it is for you. Once you have it on your website and Google knows about it. So if you search Google for it and you see that your article that you just wrote today or yesterday or whenever that happened, you see that Google knows that it's on your website, meaning you're the owner, you're the first one to publish it. Then what you can do is actually go over to some of the other platforms like Medium or LinkedIn and actually literally copy and paste it over there. Right. So these are now articles, not just links to the blog post.
Okay.
And the reason why you want to do it after Google knows that it's on your website is, you know, when there's similar copy, I don't want to call it duplicate copy because that's a whole different issue. But when your article is in multiple places, you want Google to know that you had it first. So you get the highest rankings, the most Google juice from that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Well, I have a question for the sake of everyone on the call. How long should you post it on your blog before Google will find out that that you're the owner?
So when I do this, I just make sure that I search Google for it to make sure it's there. I can get things up in Google in 15 minutes.
Okay.
So depending on your website, if you don't have a lot of traffic, if you're kind of dormant, the other thing in blogging is a way that when the search engines come to your website, when they see content being put there on a regular basis, on a consistent basis, it knows when to come back and look for more. So if you haven't updated your website with content recently, say in, let's just say a month, they're not going to be coming back every day to say, have they updated it? So everybody's website is going to be different. There's some
Paul, can't you force an update in Webmaster?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
And you're dating yourself. So Webmaster Tools, Google has a tool called Webmaster Tools, which is now called Search Engine Console. You can create an account there that you can then go in and say, here's a new page that I wrote, a new blog post, here's some content, here's the URL. Go index it now. And it may take a little while, you know, again, up to a couple hours. But once it's in there, once Google knows about it, then you can take your stuff and post it everywhere else. And just a quick point is it's okay to do that because if you think about it, that's what the AP Wire does. All the news articles that you read on CNN, on just local papers and everywhere where it says, you know, AP or Reuters, they're just copying and pasting the same article from the same reporters over and over and over. And they're successful. So that's how you know it's okay to do this.
Excellent. And it's a great topic. That's one of the reasons why I thought people like talking about it. We want to stay on schedule though. So does anyone have any other questions? Anyone else want to make sure everyone gets their chance to talk? And anyone else have any questions or concerns or do anything different? Get?
Just wanted to ask, just in general, but maybe to Desirae, when you're balancing your social media, I mean, there's a lot for people to do. So blogging, where would you put that in the mix?
So what I would do is every time I post a blog on my website, I always write a short, sentence or paragraph about it on all of my social media platforms that then lead to my website or the blog on my website. So that's how I would do it. Some people like to actually use the blog function or feature on the social media platforms. That's another way of doing it as well. It depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to get people to read it, but not necessarily send traffic to your website, then just put it right on the platform. My goal is always to get people to, browse around my website. So that's why I choose that way. But so yeah, it depends on what your goal is.
I have a question too. Is it important to always write your own piece? Or I did hear, I think Paul mentioned something about linking to an article. Is that a bad thing to, not as desirable?
So you can link to articles. You don't always have to write your own. So that invokes a whole bunch of different thoughts in my mind of how I can answer this. But so just the idea, let's say you're reading a trades article online, and you find value in it. You could always it's known as curating that content. So you can go to your website, create a blog or an article that starts out by saying, this morning I was reading over at the XYZ Journal, and they were talking about how the pandemic's affecting school kids, right? And then copy maybe a couple sentences of the article and quote it. In this article, they said, you quote it, and then you follow up with the link of where you got it, and then your own commentary. I thought this was a great point because and let me know what you think. Leave a comment and let me know your feelings, right? So by doing that, you are now, even though you may not be the expert on it, you're bringing in the experts and you become the go-to person because you're scouring the internet, you're finding out information that you like and you're sharing it with the community. So they're going to come back to say, oh, what did Lisa share this time? Right?
And Lisa, just to add to that, another way is to have guest bloggers. So if you have partners in the field that aren't necessarily like competition to you, but that more complement what you offer, you can always reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to guest blog do you want to write an article to be a guest blogger on my site? And a lot of people will take up that opportunity because that's then a backlink for them, right? For their site. So that's a good option as well.